Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderfall Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to be talking about Warhammer Underworlds, and in particular some rumours of the roadmap that is coming out and what warbands we're going to get for the rest of the season. Now, for those who don't know, Warhammer Underworlds is a collectible card and miniature game by Games Workshop. You effectively play with small warbands of miniatures like the one you can see on screen here, which is the latest one to be revealed, Black Powder's Buccaneers. And you sort of compete in this game where you draw cards, use abilities based on the cards you draw from a deck to affect a sort of board, table, that you can do all sorts of things on, trying to gather renown and experience points and claim objectives for your opponents and do all sorts of other things as well. With that said, Warhammer Underworlds has been an interesting game and has given us some really interesting models over the years. We've received fantastic miniatures for existing ranges, things like the Stormcast models from any of them, from Stormskies, Cursebreakers, or the Fast Riders, one of my particular favourites. We've also seen Fire Slayers, and pretty much every major faction in Age of Sigmar has received. And some factions have received multiple, like the Stormcast. We've seen Sacrosanct, we've seen the brand new Thunderstrike Warriors, and we've of course seen the Warrior Chamber and the Vanguard Auxiliary Chamber all featured in there as well. Much like now we've seen an Ogre Maneater and an Ogre Hunter as well. Now, what they've said in the latest batch of reveals, when we saw these on Warhammer Day revealed, this new Ogre here, that we were going to see interesting things. We now covered all the sort of the base factions of Warhammer Underworlds, and now we're going to see interesting things. More things like the Kurnothi, more things like this Ogre Maneater and all the weird creatures we're getting inside. More things like the Thorn Witch that we saw for Sylvaneth as well. All these sort of explored characters. Now with that said, we've got some rumours on what we're going to get. This season, unlike others, we're only going to get 6 brand new warbands. But there are going to be some interesting things in like other decks and other modes of play for Warhammer Underworlds, which I'm really interested about. But with that said, this video is going to be talking about the rumoured warbands, and we can talk and guess a little bit of what we might see in said warbands. So let's get cracking into it. We've got the rest of the rumoured warbands. Remembering, we've already seen 3 of said warbands so far. Now, and obviously this makes 4 here, so we're going to see the other 4 warbands that we are going to get in this season. So let's get cracking. And so, first up, we have a Necromancer warband. This is rumoured to be sort of a little bit different than the other death ones we've seen so far, especially for like Soul Black Gravelords focused. Obviously, we've seen the entire Vampiric warband. We've seen the Skeleton warband way back in Series 1. I have a feeling if we're going to see a Necromancer, it's going to be like a Necromancer and some weird zombie creatures. Probably a couple of zombies, maybe, you know, like a White King to defend them or something like that. And maybe like an abomination or something like maybe a direwolf, etc. Some sort of bestial thing. As we all know, Warhammer Underworlds is all about the cool little critters that come alongside our models now. Krabnos, Stab Monkey, and all the other amazing little critters that have come out in the different warbands. So I definitely think we'll see like a direwolf, maybe a couple of zombies, maybe a skeleton like Guardian, something a little bit more tough than the zombies. This would be a really interesting sort of warband to see, I think. It'd give us an interesting sort of dynamic and very different from any of the death ones we have currently seen in the game. Next, Malaria Elves were mentioned in the rumours as well. Now this is a really interesting one because this has bigger impacts on Age of Sigmar proper, because this will probably be how we first see exactly what we're going to get when we're talking about Malarian Elves. This sort of lines up with the Age of Sigmar rumours that we're going to see Malarian Elves somewhere in the new year, sometime next year, perhaps late next year. So seeing these maybe at the start of this year or even midway through next year, somewhere deeper into this current Underworld season, it really does make sense, considering the other rumours we've had for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I'll be really interested to see what we're going to get. I mean, this one is completely up in the air. We're going to get these weird shadow elves with like this demonic, draconic sort of look. I mean, you can see here, like, the more you look at this Malarian, he's very serpentine look. You can see that big sort of body. I think he's actually like part dragon in this. I think he's very serpentine in this. He's got no body. You can't even see where his legs begin. Be really interesting to sort of see what exactly we're going to get with Malaria Elves. This will be the greatest part about this warband. Skaven Edition are the other warband, and once again, this just sort of makes sense. We're in the realm of shadow. These are all things that we are likely to see. I Really do think we've gone for like the right sort of thing. You know, like a Necromancer is very sort of shadowy death. They also always sort of lurk in the shadows of society. Malaria Elves, obviously, realm of shadow focused here. He is the god of the realm of shadow. And then we've got Clan Eshin, the sneaky Skaven. I mean, this completely makes sense. Maybe it will be not Eshin, maybe something like Clan Slink, the clan that buggered up Nagash's plans the second time with the whole Black Pyramid stuff. A Thrall clan of Eshin. But seeing like some new assassin models, some gutter runners and night runners, maybe even this warband could be the old Eshin triad where you had the 3 assassins in the unit. This could be a really cool like hark back to something, I think, with that. But I really do like where this one could go. Like if this leads into a new Skaven line release for some brand new Eshin models, wouldn't that be amazing? But an Eshin warband would definitely be different than the current Skaven one we've got, with Spikeclaw's Swarm being much more sort of traditional sort of verminous clan rat sort of style Skaven. And lastly, the last one rumoured was Witch Hunters. Now, this was rumoured as Witch Hunters, not a witch hunter and his accomplice, but it definitely, for me, could go either way. This could be like a solitary witch hunter and maybe his sort of pupil and then a couple of orderlies around them, or it could indeed be like a bunch of witch hunters. I definitely think we've seen warbands go both certain ways. I mean, with like the vampiric warband being all vampires of different sorts, but this could also be something along the lines of like having a key main 2 characters and some orderlies around them. I'd be really interested to see where we go with like a Witch Hunter warband. Definitely a great thing to sort of explore is that Order of Vizier. Really do like that Games Workshop has made it apparent that they're using games like Warcry and Warhammer Underworlds to explore those other corners of the Warhammer world that maybe don't fit quite into the main AOS line, which is a fantastic place to be exploring them. I mean, 40k looks into all those sort of things in things like Necromancer, so Age of Sigmar sort of exploring these games in these other settings, exploring their ranges, and what they can do with that and those sort of models in those games without making whole armies of them or just these weird sort of splash characters in armies. It's a really cool thing. What do you think of these rumours? They all sort of really do line up for me as things that we maybe are likely to see. Witch Hunter warband and Cities of Sigmar is really the only warband we're missing for a mainline army in Age of Sigmar. Malaria Elves line up with the Age of Sigmar rumours. Eshin makes sense. It's just narratively sort of probably fitting. And the Necromancer, you know, we need a death warband, and it does seem like the obvious nail that hasn't been hit. Whether or not they're true, I'd love to hear from everyone what they think of these warbands, what they would like from them, if you play Warhammer Underworlds, what you would like them to do in the game, and in particular, what warbands would you like to see in the future? What do you reckon is the coolest warband you could possibly make and see in the future? Let us know in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Cinderfall Gaming, you can do so by following the link in the video's description to our Discord server. Lastly, if you'd like to help support the channel in another way, you can do so by either Patreon or YouTube members, or going and purchasing some merch from Teespring, on which you'll find all the links for Patreon, YouTube members and Teespring in the description of the video as well. Lastly, we'd like to give a shout out to all our patrons and YouTube members who help support the channel. It's amazing what you do, and it really helps us get more and more stuff out for the channel. So thank you to our patrons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Chaos Spawn, AJC, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shop First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Dynet226, Anton Nielsen, JJ Austrian, and Average Wargamer. And a special shout out to our YouTube members as well: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Steve T, The Real Zeop, Chris Wallace, Turai12, Vinny, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, and Revan R. Lastly, a special shout out first of all to Lady Witchfox Art for doing all the amazing artwork for the channel you can see here, and to Xmorphic as well for doing an amazing job doing all the background work on our Discord server. Thank you to everyone once again for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, comment below. Thank you all. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.